I used to be a musician like you, but then I got hit in the face with responsibilities and I couldn't afford to play anything anymore because I needed a job to get money. How's it going, people? Welcome back to another one of my 2019 modded Skyrim character builds. This one is going to be a fun one. Do you remember the idea of casual builds I came up with when I made the Huntsman video? Well, casual builds are builds that try to portray a realistic profession that you can have fun with in the game without becoming a warrior or the savior of Tamriel. Now that the definition is out there, let's get on with the build. Have you played through the Bard's college questline and became very disappointed when they sent you on a deadly quest? I mean, all I wanted to do was play some music for f***'s sake.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Well, this is why I am here today. I will give you what you want, a build that you can satisfy your musician needs by growing a fanbase in Skyrim and becoming known as the province's greatest bard. So as always, I will give you the vague backstory of the character, the recommended mods, and the gameplay style for this build. And everything will happen in Skyrim Special Edition. Aren't you guys bored of me saying that intro again and again and again? Yep, my terrible jokes are starting again. By the way, I just realized that I was speaking very fast at the beginning of the video, and I will try to take it slow from now on because I want you guys to understand me when I'm talking. So starting with the backstory, I will choose to play as a female because I don't actually have that many female builds in the list, and I wanted to have some variety for the builds. She will be a Breton because the backstory requires her to be born outside of Skyrim, and honestly I just like Bretons. They're like half elf, half human, they're pretty cool. So for the name of the character, I will call her Clary, short for clarinet. Is that too cheesy? You don't have to name your character the same as me, do what you want, I don't really care, but I'll just go with the cheesy name because I think it's cute. So Clary was an orphan and she was abandoned at birth because her family wanted a boy instead, to work in the fields and become a warrior. Her parents left her in an orphanage that she escaped from when she was 10 years old. Keep in mind that all of this happened in High Rock, but since the Riften orphanage is the only reference I can use for the video, it'll have to do. She then stole an instrument from a sleeping guard and she left High Rock completely. The instrument will be of your choice. Then she went to Skyrim and this is where she grew up. She's now 15 years old and the only way she can make money and provide for herself is by playing songs in inns and taverns. But one day she dreams to play for the High King or High Queen of Skyrim. Now, she does not fight and does not have any weapons, and she tries to stay away from violence as a whole, but she could participate in tavern brawls if she wants to prove her point every now and then. This is how this build becomes interesting. No fighting whatsoever, and all the character does is play music and talk to the locals. What? You think this is boring? No, I'm here to prove you wrong. Imagine the challenge in trying to make money and still provide for yourself when you're trying to play Skyrim realistically. Now, let's be honest, if one day we would be transported to a fantasy land like Skyrim, most of us would be pussies and we wouldn't dare to hurt a chicken. So we have to find alternative ways to make money, and that's the challenge of this build. But I'll add more to that in the gameplay style later. Going into the mods, I have alternate start, as always. I will choose the option to start at an inn simply because I will need a place to stay for my first night. You will not have a musical instrument just yet, but I'm pretty sure the game will hook you up with a couple bucks to stay your first night and get a bit of food. Next on the list is I Need. You can also have realistic needs and diseases, but I Need was already in my load order and I didn't want to switch my mods too much. This mod will make the game very difficult because that means you will have to provide for yourself. And this is what will make this build very fun. You will now need to eat and drink to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Our next mod is the heart and soul of this build, and you have probably heard of it. Become a bard. This is what I've always wanted in Skyrim, and when I was playing back on my 360 in 2012, I always wanted to be a bard and play cool songs when I found out there was a bard's college. I was really excited to join when I heard that, and then I was left very disappointed. But with this mod, you can get an instrument and play whatever and whenever you want. And also wherever you want, and to whomever you want. And if you talk to the innkeeper before you play, they will pay you a small amount of money and will also give you a free room to stay in. So if you're short on 10 septims, all you gotta do is whip your flute. Don't take that out of context, please. I personally like the lute the most because I played guitar when I was younger, and this is what I wanted to play in video games when I was younger, in 2012, earlier, yeah. So I'm currently fulfilling my childhood dream. It's amazing. For our next mods, I will put them all together because I don't really know which ones do which changes once I have them all together, but it doesn't matter. So first I have INNCREDIBLE, Inns and Taverns, and Liat, Lively Inns and Taverns. So according to the Nexus pages, INNCREDIBLE changes the look of the smaller inns in Skyrim, and they make them look pretty different from the vanilla that usually makes them look the same. So now you can know which inn you're in without having to check in on your map. Inns and Taverns basically adds new inns and taverns around the province of Skyrim, and Liat adds NPCs and environmental sound effects so you don't feel lonely ever again in inns. The inns feel so much more cozy now, and I want to spend more time in them than before. I'm sorry if the video is darker than usual because of my ENB, but this is what makes the taverns and inns so cozy. I want to sit by the fire and drink some mead. Don't drink unless you're of legal age, kids. I mean, no, FTC, my videos are not made for kids. 100% not made for kids. Just to prove that point, shit. And as for the gameplay style, this is all very interesting. You will not have any weapons or armor on you, simply because you wouldn't use them. As I said before, this is a casual build, and people seem to really like the idea of them back when I first made the Huntsman build, and I'm really excited now to make another one. You will go from inn to perform all over Skyrim and become the most famous and rich bard of them all. You can also become a street performer, but those usually don't end up so well. And hey, if your music career isn't kicking off, you can give people lap dances. I mean, look, this guy approves. But if it does, you can perform in front of hundreds of people, and they will love you. You will need to regularly buy food and maybe even cook for yourself in order to survive. But once you're rich and famous, you're most likely gonna spend all your money on skooma, because that's what real people do. This build shows why I love Skyrim this much. In this game, you don't have to be a ruthless warrior or the slayer of dragons or whatever. You can become whoever you want, and that is why Bethesda has great potential. This game will remain my all-time favorite until something better comes out, and I think only Bethesda can release something that I would like more. I have high hopes for Starfield, honestly. On that note, I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe for more, and check out my other modded character builds by clicking the link in the playlist in the description. Tell me in the comments what you would suggest for someone who wants to play this build. Other than that, have a good day, or evening, or morning I guess, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya! So I loaded up this older game called Skyrim. I started making videos people be admiring. Well, on one hand it gets pretty tough, I can't help to admit that it's some really cool stuff. I get back in the game after I played so many times. I thought it would get boring after committing so many crimes. Did you know the river chicken is considered a person? Now that's a dumb feature that ruins my